Hey.
Hopefully it works.
We've got stuff coming through to YouTube. Supposedly, and stuff coming through to Twitch. Let's check Twitch out first. We've got stuff coming through to YouTube. Good, stuff coming through to Twitch. And why? Oh, here we go. Twitch out. We've got stuff coming through to YouTube.
Fucking hell, son.
Yeah, that's because they're through my normal speakers rather than through my headphones.
Good job.
But there we go. We're good to go.
We're good to go.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Good evening, the TheSuffolkRam.
Skazz.
Welcome to episode 140 of the Radnets podcast.
No, I have to ask because I ask every time. Is it really 140?
Yeah, it is 140.
Oh, wow.
You know how we joked that at episode 150 we'd have to go to Chernobyl, but we'd have to be in all protective gear and so forth?
That's pretty much leaving our houses, isn't it, now?
Well, we didn't need to ever go to Chernobyl for that fantasy to come true, did we?
It's like, oh, wow.
For those watching, Skazz is here. He's just not visible.
It's probably safer in Chernobyl than it is on the streets around here right now.
Social distancing is easier, I'd imagine, Chernobyl. I mean, and those mutants are probably safe from it, you know, so...
No, mate, they're all having hardcore raves and stuff in Chernobyl
yeah, I thought
right now.
Exactly, they're fine, they're loving it. I played Stalker, I know how it is. Yeah.
Oh, Stalker.
Good old Stalker, I love Stalker. It's one of my favourite game series of all time. Even if they all are really, really ropey and bad and fall apart at the slightest hint of actually trying to do what they're meant to do.
Isn't it fantastic?
Have you ever played a Stalker game?
I have the Stalker games. I never really got hardcore into them, though. I do know that the studio behind them is a bunch of wankers, or the head of the studio is a right bastard.
He is a bit, I've heard, and when they all sort of disappeared off, all the sort of projects they've then done since have all been pretty crap.
Well, didn't they? No, weren't they?
Oh, except for Metro, which I'm pretty sure is a spin-off from Stalker as well, as in
Did
devs.
they do Metro?
I'm pretty sure some of the devs on Metro are from Stalker, with Stalker devs.
They might have been.
80% sure. I mean, obviously Metro's got nothing to do with Stalker, but I'm pretty sure some of the devs from Stalker's, the company, which was GSC, I think it was. GSC or GSG, something like that, basically went kaput. And they all moved on. They all made like other, and all the games they made are basically Stalker version 2. There is supposedly another Stalker game coming.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. There was that's
unfortunate.
Well, what's it? The publisher owns rights. Someone noticed that the Stalker 3 domain name got bought up and no longer available. About a couple of years ago, I heard that. So, but it is Stalker, so it'll probably take another 10 years to get released anyway.
Fantastic.
So. But how have you been this week, Skazz?
Yeah. Quarantine. I had a KFC today. That's the highlight.
Wow, wow.
Well, they deliver, don't they?
Are they now delivering?
Yeah. So if you go to, if you search for KFC Lowestoft, it'll take you to the KFC main website, and it'll say search in your area, like type in for a KFC restaurant in your area, and then they'll say, by the way, due to current situation, you can now order food through Deliveroo or Uber Eats.
Well, it's funny you say it because I looked at Deliveroo and they weren't on there when I looked.
Right, Deliveroo won't deliver anyway to us. Uber Eats will.
Look at it. I'm going to be having a KFC soon, then, that's for certain.
Good job.
Yeah. But I've had some excitement this week, and actually excitement today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to read it because I'm going to move the camera so you can see what my excitement's all about. There you go. Oh, wrong way. Ta-da!
Ta-da! Oh, hello.
Look at that
you went with the warthog.
I went with the warthog, yeah.
God, blimey, where's the stick at? Oh, my God.
I take this label off to make sure. Don't screw us up the wrong way round. Don't fuck this up, labels. I've got to take them off. But do you know what? This blood, that weighs an absolute ton.
That is the HOTAS that I wanted to get, but there's no way in hell I'll be able to afford it.
Yeah, well, this is only because I've had like a load of bills paid simultaneously. So because of that, I've been able to because I've basically managed to defer. Because before I got furloughed, I deferred all my loans, everything.
Yeah.
Because you know how I was going to be furloughed for. Then I got defurloughed. It's like, well, I'm back to normal now. But these loans have all gone through, which means I'm basically now for the next 3 months like £600 better off.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So I'm going to do things. So I'm basically using this opportunity to sort of get my finance under control. So I used to live a bit in my overdraft. I want to get out of the overdraft and basically get round. But I thought, well, you know how long I've been eyeing up a HOTAS for.
Yeah, about the same amount of time. No, I've been looking at. I've been eyeing up a HOTAS longer than you have, which is funny. But yeah, for a good few years in your case.
Yeah, a good 3 or 4 years. I was like, I've vaguely been talking about the Warthog on like an early round nerd, so now I'm like, what one?
Well,
so
yeah, because
like,
we were both talking about wanting to play stuff like Elite Dangerous, but it just doesn't feel right without a HOTAS.
Yeah, so I thought, fuck it, I'm buying a HOTAS. I bought one this week. It got delivered today. I've already fired up Elite.
How does it feel?
Do you know what? It's just a complete different experience. I have a joystick before with a throttle control on it, but the old one, the throttle control's on the joystick as well, so your hands are like people can't see on the audio, but your left hand's like behind, so it feels very weird, and it feels very hard to control it. So I struggle with combat in Elite because you have to really control your throttle, and it's really hard to sort of do it as well as your joystick when they're so close together. But I did a little there's like practice combat mission you can do. I just want to try it, see how I got on. I've not done any configuration of this at all. I'm just using the default config, so they're not telling how I'd have it laid out.
Yeah.
But I was so much better at it. I've not touched the game probably about a year because I just had so much finer control. The throttle's the big thing, actually. Because you control your throttle so much to do your dogfighting and so forth. Just had an extra control. It was, So I can't wait. I just need to sit down and actually configure it all properly. Because also a lot of the switches on it are toggle switches rather than push. And obviously the game doesn't quite recognise that. But you can. But it comes with software, basically. Like the old days, the old keyboards where you can have like little macros in them.
Yeah.
Same sort of dealio. You can actually say, okay, when I put this switch, pretend it's a button press.
Okay, cool.
Just pretend spur instead. You can do that sort of stuff with it. So I just need to sit down and actually work out how I want the control and then just configure it or program it all, and then I'll be able to have it as I want. But yeah, it was pretty amazing. And I'm going to invest in MechWarrior 5 as well. I'll pick that up as well, yeah. So I want to get MechWarrior 5. I just want to get Half-Life Alyx. Which brings me on to other. Now you're going to like this today. This got delivered today as well because for Oculus Rift, as you know, but I want to get a third sensor for it, so it gets full 360-degree tracking. But the trouble is, my Capu's only got eight USB ports, which is frankly abysmal.
No, I agree.
Yeah, 8 USB ports is nothing these days. My old one had 14. So this, but it was this case to go for. So I thought I bought myself a new USB card, peripheral that plugs into your PCI Express slot.
Yeah. I
have never encountered what they sent today. So it came in a box, opened the box up, and it came with a screwdriver. It's like,
oh, fantastic! That's nice.
Marvelous. It is. You're gonna like this, and I'm going to get you to describe to the viewers, the audio viewers, what you can see.
That's your bracket. So it's the PCB board with the USB headers on it, but the bracket, the mounting bracket, isn't actually attached.
No, I've never had build your own card. I've never had one like that.
I've had them come in with the card complete, but then come with a separate bracket for low profile.
No. I've got to build the card myself.
There you go. Congratulations.
I've never had assemble your own card. I've never had that before. So, but yeah, so that's hence why my little USB and my little screwdriver and my two little screws.
Fantastic.
Yes, but I'm at that stage now. It's the brave stage of okay. Now I need to actually open the PC up.
Oh, you'll love it.
Yeah, but it's a bit of no. It's like okay, put this in. Will this still work, or switch it back on again?
Well, you hope.
Yeah.
Have you made sure to check that the card is compatible?
Yeah, I checked all that.
Oh, good.
All fine, all single dancing. It's not the one I wanted because there's two versions. This is because the thing about Oculus Rift's sensors, they ideally want a driver per. They want to be split one sensor per driver.
Mm-hmm.
So you really want if you're going to have like a 4-way USB, you really want 4 drivers.
Yeah.
Form rather than 1, which they mostly do. You can't get 4-way drivers on, but a 4-way driver USB card's £120.
Yeah, good job.
This one's £20.
Yeah,
So I went for the single drivers. Like, I'll just spread them across the whole machine.
Yeah, why not?
So, yeah,
couple here, couple there. I'll be fine.
Yeah, we only need 3. Ironically, the Oculus the headset doesn't only need a basic connector because it's just for audio.
Oh, fair enough.
USB, yeah. The USB is for audio on the headset and power, and the the video stuff comes through your video card connection.
Oh,
so it's only audio if it goes through the USB, so you don't need anything fancy for that. It's just sensors need the dedicated ones because they're obviously processing a lot of data through very quickly.
Sure.
So hence why the extra card. But yeah, because then I want to be able to get Half-Life Alyx.
And then you'll love it. You'll be so happy with VR that you'll explode.
Of course. What else does VR work with? Elite Dangerous.
There you go. So you can now the question is, will you live stream your VR experience of Elite Dangerous or?
Could do. Why not? Hey, why not?
Get it done.
So, guys, let me see someone who's not very good at Elite Dangerous play Elite Dangerous with VR headsets.
You don't know that though, do you? Because you've never played with a HOTAS before.
That is true, but you can have the best tools in the world. It doesn't make you that. The tools help, but they don't make you the master.
No, they don't. But then actually having a proper throttle.
Yeah. It makes you more involved in the experience, doesn't it? Because you feel more like part of the experience when you're using it. You feel more like you're actually in control.
I just find it's more intuitive. I mean, playing Elite Dangerous is not a game that you should play with mouse and keyboard. Which actually, should we tail this into games we've been playing?
Yes, why not? I've
been playing the Call of Duty equivalent of Elite Dangerous.
Oh, Infinity? Yeah, Infinite Warfare.
Infinite Warfare. I'm not going to go a huge amount into the game, to be fair. It's standard fare Call of Duty. Run around, center screen, click, enemy dies, job done. Grenade spamming constantly. Run for cover. Even when you're in cover, the enemies know exactly where you are. 50 grenades fly in your general direction. You explode. You're dead. Respawn. Try again.
Isn't Infinity? I can't want to call it Infinity War, but it's not. Isn't that the one that was like sort of the sort of like scrappy cousin of the family? It's not that well liked overall.
That was. So you've got Call of Duty Ghosts, which was everyone hated apparently for reasons I can't quite figure out because I've never played it. And yeah, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare was the bastard child of the family as well as Ghosts, just because it took place so far in the future. Now I will be honest, I kind of agree with people that it's not really a COD game. Or it doesn't feel much like a COD. I mean, it does. It's center screen and click, like every other COD game before it. And you can see all of the little extra bits that they've picked up from other Call of Duty games. So, for example, like certain mines or bombs or breaching charges, the model comes from Advanced Warfare. They've just reused it and given it a different job. Like the double jump kind of exosuit stuff. And the wall running mechanics from other games have made their way into kind of Infinite Warfare as well. But the main disconnect, I think, for a lot of people is it takes place so far into the future, you can't relate to it. It doesn't. I mean, I understand that you could say we can't really relate to World War II because it happened so long ago. But at least it's there. The places are grounded in somewhere that I can go to. I can see it. I can see the impacts of it.
And a gun's a gun at the end of the day. A gun from World War II, you see modern guns, you know that's a princess. There's a family tree there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Whereas in the future, you don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, you can still see like, oh, this is the equivalent of whatever gun from the previous game, but it's like, but it's so far off. You're like, why does this function like this? Why does it look like this? How come this is a thing? Um, the trick for it is, it's Earth versus Mars. The folk
It is.
the folks on Mars have decided they're declaring war on Earth. They think that everything about the Earth is just old hat. They don't want anything born of Earth needs to die, basically.
I love that. So it turns up in so many series. It turns up in The Expanse. It turns up in 40K.
Mm-hmm.
40. Can't wait enough. There's loads. It's just like Earth and Mars.
Martian Success in the Deshiko,
yeah,
and loads of other stuff. But it's
Holding to
derpy.
the dogs.
So there's your story there, Earth versus Mars, and then you have the Elite Dangerous link is that you fly around in spaceships for certain missions. So you have kind of like Elite Dangerous style space combat, but it's kind of the controls are super dumbed down because obviously you're on a control pad.
I was say, is it arcade controls or is it like because Elite Dangerous obviously got Newtonian physics, so you know, like does it make you fly like an aeroplane? Does it make you fly like a spaceship?
Well, it wants you to think that you're flying like a mixture of the two, but because it's so automatic, because it's so I'll hold your hands and fly, you don't really even think about it. However, when you are in space, it's nice to be able to pivot on a center point and pick people off and blast around. And another weird mechanic to it is, I don't know if you've played many games like it, where so you end up with key missions and then you have side missions. And if you do so each mission has a probability. And if you look at the main mission, it says you've got 75% chance of success. If you then go through and do a bunch of the side missions, the rate of success will go up as you complete side missions for the main mission. So you could have to, you'll go and kill a Martian council or whatever, all of a sudden, it turns out those three guys are actually also kind of in charge of one of the main space bases you've got to handle in the main story, so their defenses are down.
That's neat. That's quite a neat idea.
You take out a bunch of ace pilots that are guarding another spaceship somewhere on another side mission. They can't come and back up the folks on the main story either. So there's loads of there's little bits like that that I haven't seen in other Call of Duty games, but.
I think Armour did a similar thing actually. I vaguely remember Armour having like little side missions where you had like your main missions, but side missions if you completed them would make the main mission easier.
Yeah,
I think Armour had a similar idea
because it seemed pretty neat. Mechanically, it was kind of fun, but like I said, the story was just so far in the future. I just couldn't give a toss. And Call of Duty games, they always try and shock you with something like, I don't know, a main character dies, nuke goes off, betrayal or something like that. Once you see it happen in every other Call of Duty game, you're not shocked or surprised by it anymore. No. And they do that by the bucketful in this one, and I'm like, I don't really care. So, but at first I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. I didn't like the space set, and I didn't like the space weapons, but as time went on, after the first 2 hours, I was like, actually, you know what? This is kind of fun. Throwing in shock grenades, which we've never had before, to disable robots, or anti-gravity grenades, so that everything that kind of ends up in the blast radius kind of floats up into the sky for like 5 seconds and is really disoriented in that. Being able to do kind of spacewalks, so you're actually in space and your character, as you're kind of grappling between debris, your character will kind of spin off axis, and so you can actually be kind of flying through the air upside down, kind of 80s action movie style, shooting people. So they're stood on the ground, and you're now flying through, kind of spinning through the air, taking out enemy infantry, which is kind of fun.
Probably Newtonian physics. There you go.
The game does have so many fun little bits about it, and mechanically it's kind of sound. Just it is the bastard child because of the setting of it.
You get the feeling that devs were like, I'm fed up with like modern games. Let's just say fuck it. Let's just make something completely different, completely out there,
Well,
and do something different.
that was what they planned to do with Call of Duty 4. So originally, when they wanted to do Call of Duty, first they did Call of Duty to honor soldiers. Thank you for doing what you did to give us our freedoms. And then they kept on pitching, can we do a modern warfare game? Boots on the ground in the current day. And they actually split off into two teams, and one of them was like so far in the future, it was like, aliens. Ending up on some random spaceship, taking out aliens and all that kind of stuff, like super futuristic. Rappelling down some kind of canyon on another planet or whatever. But then they made Call of Duty 4, that took off. They never really wanted to be World War II, so they went to Modern Warfare. As Modern Warfare started to become oversaturated, they're like, let's move forwards. Let's kind of, let's do augmentation. Let's try exosuits. And then they were like, you know what? Screw it. Let's go all the way super future, robots, laser guns, space combat. So you're right. They just wanted to keep moving forwards. Because they would, I guess, there's only so many times you can rehash the same story over, and get away with it.
So the era of warfare I've always found interesting, actually, is sort of warfare in sort of the 1980s. I'll tell you for why. Because at the time where sort of computing technology started to come in, it's starting to be useful. It's starting to, they've had computers in other vehicles before, but it's starting to get sort of boots on the ground sort of technology. They're starting to get, it's around sort of I think it was the mid 80s that GPS, or was it late 70s that GPS came in? But it's around that sort of time period that GPS came in. And it's starting to have its technological revolution.
Yeah.
Let's face it, technology, the computer miniaturization, completely revolutionized warfare. And so with the gun, revolutionized warfare.
Yeah, for sure.
Really. And particularly automatic weapons, how they revolutionized warfare between sort of like, you compare like World War One to World War Two, how the tank and guns and so forth, that simple, it's more advanced mechanicals, completely revolutionized how warfare would work. Because you still had horse-drawn artillery in World War One.
Yeah,
it makes such a difference. And it was World War was basically fighting. Oh, pardon me, you have to edit that out. A modern war with 1800s tactics.
Yeah.
And in the same way, Capoose has done the same thing. They've revolutionised warfare for us now. They've changed how it works. And I think actually on the crust of that revolution is actually the interesting part when it's starting to come in. So there have been some games sort of set in the 1980s. I think ironically, Operation Flashpoint was set in the 1980s. I think it was set in the 1980s.
I will say my favourite Call of Duty games so far have been Black Ops.
Some of those are set in the past, aren't they? Some of those levels, I believe.
Yeah.
So like Cold War era?
It's the Cold War stuff. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. No. Good old COD. So how many COD games you got left to go then? Because you're blitzing your way through them.
2.
What, all the way up to date, or?
So I don't have all of the newest ones, and I don't have Call of Duty Ghosts. So I can't do Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, and I can't do the new one called Modern Warfare, because it turns out there's 3 Modern Warfares now. So there's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So I don't have the newest one.
So Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
No, so you've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, the Modern Warfare trilogy. Then they remade Modern Warfare 1, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Now they've made Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Remastered.
No, just Modern Warfare.
Oh, good. That's not confusing at all.
Exactly. So, and because that actually confused me last time, because when we were talking about it, we were looking up the prices for them. The reason that I couldn't figure out what people were talking about, they were like, no, the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I assumed the one that was now on the Xbox, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, was Modern Warfare Remastered, but kind of separate, being sold separately, because it was a bundle item for Infinite Warfare. No, it turns out the reason I couldn't find it on PC is because it's only on Battle.net. It's not on Steam.
Really?
So, yeah, so I was like, oh, okay.
All the random places to end up on Battle.net.
Well, it turns out all of them are on Battle.net now, or all of the new CODs are going on Battle.net, which is why I couldn't find Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Well, that makes sense because they're part of Activision. Activision
Yes.
and Blizzard thing, aren't they?
Yes.
So
Yeah. So I can't. I'm not going to be playing those two, but yeah, I've literally got the only one I've got left that I can do is Modern Warfare Remastered, and I'm 2/3 of the way through that. And then I've got another World War II game left, but I can't remember which one it is.
I was going to interrupt you briefly. We've got some comments. Ali says evening, and someone called Thomas Middleditch says, "Yo, boss."
Yo, good. What was the one? Oh yeah, Call of Duty United Offensive, whatever one that is. So I've still got to do that.
I don't remember that one.
No, no, it's an old one, but I can't remember. I didn't even realize I had it, so I was like, oh well, I might as well go through it.
Sounds like a football team.
It could very well be.
Wouldn't that be a twist of a game?
Pod United.
You lift it up as actually load it up as actually FIFA 2020.
Yes, they just put like a World War II skin on it.
That's a game going to be played. Soldier Manager 2020. He has like sort of ranged teams and combat exercises and all sorts. That's a game waiting to happen.
That would be fantastic. But yeah, so I've almost finished pretty much every Call of Duty game. They're averaging between say 4 and 9 hours a game. I will be honest though, I am burning out pretty hardcore. I had to go to using control pad partway through because I was playing so much. Because of the problem I have with my hands, I couldn't actually use WASD. You'd occasionally just see my character strafe out of cover, so I couldn't feel my fingers anymore. So I was accidentally pressing down keys. Went to using so I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 on mouse and keyboard. Fantastic. Blitzed my way through it for the most part. No trouble at all. Started to play the remastered version on control pad, and I'm telling you, man, either they've upped the difficulty on Modern Warfare Remastered, or I just suck on a control pad. Because there was a mission called All Gillied Up in
it's a sniper mission, isn't it?
Yes, and I love that mission. I have never missed the sniper shot in that mission. I even thought it was scripted at one point, and fuck me, I missed it twice today. I missed it twice, and then when I had to get to the extraction point, I flubbed it every step of the way. I could not believe it. I must have died like fucking 30 times. I was like, how hard is it, man? It's like, right now, I couldn't even hit water if I fell out of a fucking boat. The fucking people left on board the Titanic would have been drier than me at this point. You know?
Oh.
It's like, Christ. But yeah, so two games in my collection left. I would like to play the new Modern Warfare because it looks fantastic, and it's got some of my favorite Call of Duty characters in it. But yeah, I mean, it's been a fun little romp through some kind of goofy arcadey first-person shooters.
Well, excellent.
What have you been up to?
I've been playing. I found something in my I was sort of like, I want a game this week that I can literally just basically use, a mouse for. I'm just sort of, work's being a bit manic at the moment. And I get home every evening, it's like, I just want something really, not so much simple, but I don't have, it doesn't require like super accurate timings that sort of pushed me down the turn-based route.
Okay.
So I ended up firing up Galactic Civilizations 3 again.
Oh, right.
So, for those who don't know, Galactic Civilizations series is a space strategy game. You take on the role of you have an alien. You can be humans, or you can be one of the many alien species, and you basically have to colonize planets, expand your empire. Do your research. It's just typical sort of 4X strategy type game. Build your research up, conquer your enemies and so forth, and play it.
Yeah.
So I started playing the campaign. It tries to say, we recommend you do like this tiny little universe. It's only got like it's all 2 people. It's like, nah, fuck that. Because I'm sorry, I'm a bit gassy tonight. I do apologise. Enjoy editing that out. So I went for the thing is it uses quite a lot of RAM, and I went to use I went for how much size galaxy I'm using. It's not the biggest. Because probably the biggest galaxy, they recommend you have 32 gigs of RAM before you use
blimey.
it. Yeah, that's because it's got so much data to sort of maintain. So I went for one that required 16 gigs, which is what I've got on my PC, which is still enough to have eight adversaries in it, or 8 players in total, which is good enough. That's big enough for my liking. So I loaded that up and played it up. So I'm playing the Terra Republic. So you start off with you get given a start. You get 1 planet. You get given a colony ship, a survey ship, which can go off and find, anomalies and sort of you analyze them and you can get resources and so forth. And you can have a scout ship, which can go off and do exploration and so forth. So I'm playing this on easy. Simple reason being that I don't get a lot of time to play games. I don't want to get stuck for a 40-hour campaign. I'd rather have a quicker 10-hour campaign. So I'm playing on easy. Fair.
Okay.
That's what it is. So I'm playing through it. Let's go, all right. So I basically go on the principle of, okay, bigger is always better when it comes to strategy games. General strategy it's all about how many resources. The more planets you have, the more starbase you can have. The more starbase you have, the more ship shipyards you can have. The more ships you can make, the faster you can get bigger and explore. So all I actually did was I had loads of money in the bank straight away, getting a little starting bonus. I just bought colony ship after colony ship, and I was just any planet I could find I was colonizing, decent planet. Because planets have little classes, so planets will be class, I think it's from 1 to 20, or 1 to 30. But basically, anything sort of above 10 is called good, and someone Saturn would be a level 1 or level 0 planet, was it's just uninhabitable. And then Earth is level 12, and then level 20 is like Utopia. And how that translates into game world-wise is that when you have a planet, you have a number of spaces you can build on, build structures and so forth. And how many spaces you've got depends on what level it is. So a level 10 planet will have 10 spaces to place on. A level 20 or 20. So it gets better the more stuff you've got. Which is nice, sort of simple as a mechanic, simple idea.
Sure.
So I built that up and I sort of just did the strategy. It seemed to work quite well, actually. And it was just me at first. I soon encountered my first alien race, and and they're called the Iconian Refuge, I think they're called. And I sort of said, "Hi, how are you? Fine, yeah, okay, good." And there's this little bands of power gauge that shows it's like a bar, like a single bar chart, but percentage-wise splits up by how much power everybody's got. And by the time I encountered 4 species, I was 50% of the overall power of the whole universe.
Huh.
It's I'm quite happy with this. This is going well, and so forth. Chatting along, I've got one alien race called the Drogon who we're going to wipe you out. I said, yeah, good luck, mate. I'm so much more powerful than there. But yeah, go for it. You can do that. It's fine. And there's no one called the York Collective who aren't too happy with me, but I thought I'll have them at some point. All was going well until I met the Altarian Refuge. And they said, "Hi, how are you? We're friends. We're having to be friends." I said, "Yeah, sure, fine." Next turn, the balance of power updates. The Altarians were so powerful that my bar got shrunk down so much you couldn't tell the difference from the other 3. Oh shit! These guys are big. And because you get little your map gets literally painted, the little mini map gets you by default shows So your planets have this thing called influence. So the more influential you are, your planets like radiate out this influence, which represents your like territory. So as your planet, and if an alien planet finds itself in your influence zone, eventually it starts to rebel. Because the sort of like in-game thing is basically your culture takes them over. So like, they start there. It makes sense if you've got a planet that's like in enemy territory space, it's right next to one of their planets. They're going to start getting a lot of culture come across in the form of like, their television, their programming, their industry and imports and so forth.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening, they basically eventually rebel, basically join your side.
Okay.
So that's why influence is very good. It's actually one of the ways you can win. You can win through culture. You basically spread yourself so much, other planets just give up and eventually just go, we're just going to become part of you guys. You're just so much better than us.
It's kind of like what America's trying to do with Starbucks.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's them dropping their little plots of influence around everywhere. So I was sort of doing that, and I saw this building. I was like, and it shows by default on the map. It shows you your influence sort of area, and mine was quite a big swathe. But then like this other side was like half the map was their color, and I couldn't see the other half, which I'm sure was their color as well. I'm thinking, shit, this is not going to go well. So it all started off really well. They were being friendly. I was like saying, hey, let me give you some money. There you go. Have some money every turn. Just be nice to me. I want to give you a tithe every turn. Just don't worry about me. I'm fine. Just leave me to my own devices. I thought, I can win this, but only if I kill everybody else first.
Sure.
So I started building thing, and the research tree, this is quite in-depth. There's like 4 main categories. You've got like your warfare, which is all your defensive and offensive capabilities. And I'm just confused by it even more. They're both split into 3 subsections. So like offensive capabilities, you've got kinetic weapons, energy weapons, and missile weapons. In the defensive capabilities, you've got shields, armor, and I think point defenses. And they obviously repel relevant things. So point defenses work for missiles. Kinetic weapons are repelled by armor, and shields repel against energy. So that's what they're. So that's like that all rock paper scissors scenario. So you can either try and balance yourself and research a bit of everything, or you can sort of focus on one area, but hope that no one else focuses on that relevant defense.
Sure.
So I'm old-fashioned. I like kinetic weapons. So I'm sort of focusing on kinetic weapons because I like making things go really fast and making things that be obliterated. I'm a traditionalist in that respect. All these lasers and stuff, they're boring. They're just fancy light shows. I want to just, fire a piece of sand so fast it ruins someone's day. That's how I like to fight warfare. So I'm doing that. I'm gradually expanding. The dragon has declared war on me. I was like, fuck you guys. And I eventually took it back. They eventually got declared war by a couple other alien races. So I hadn't even met yet. And eventually the dragon's like, we're going to surrender to you. We don't like you. We're going to surrender to these other guys. And they just went to them. It's like, oh, you fucking bastards. You can surrender to me instead. But, it is. So I got with the dragon, took on their planets. I then encountered the Khan Syndicate, who really liked me. So the planet is quite interesting because alien races, what they all think of you really varies quite a lot. They basically, you'll get like a breakdown of every alien race. You'll get like a little breakdown of what they do and don't like about you. So a race might like you if, say, for example, you share ideology. So you have a benevolent, pragmatic, or I call it the last one. It's like sort of despicable, so like an evil ideology. And these 3 ones, and each race has their own ideology which they follow, and what your ideology is based on how many ideology points you score, and you get those by little random events occur, and how you respond to them ups your score in those relevant like sort of tech trees, as it were.
Right.
And that then reflect, and also whichever you've got the most points in is your ideology. So I've got a benevolent ideology. So a race will, like you if you're the same ideology. For stars, they'll like you if you've helped them by giving them tech and so forth. They'll like you if you're like enemies with their enemies, but at the same time, they'll dislike you if so the races that I was okay friendly terms on. They don't like because I've got like an opposite ideology to somebody else, but I'm friends to them as well. And so, like, you're friends with infidels. We don't like you very much. And so you get all these like pots. So you can literally see all this massive like list of positive and minuses that affect how this race views you. And you get a little progress bar that shows you which way they're leading. So you've got to try and sort of also keep your friends closer. So I made friends quite early on with the Iconian Refuge, and to be honest, they're not. I've sort of like surrounded them, so they can't really go anywhere. And my influence is gradually big, and I'm gradually overtaking their entire civilization. They're not particularly happy about it, but they can't really do anything about it. So I got a message from them saying, "Hey, you've kind of built a star base to mine resources in our territory. Would you mind removing it?" I was like, "Ha, no." I was like, "Okay then."
We don't really have much of a choice.
Yeah, okay then. So I then got involved in my first proper war against the Khan Syndicate. So they basically declared war on me. And I was like, okay, let's deal with these guys. I've got to deal with these guys. Okay, so I started building. I've been really cool. I've got shipyards everywhere. I'm just pumping out ships as many as I can, and just literally moving more to the sort of frontline area. So you can put ships, you can like enforce planets with spaceships. So to take a planet, you need normal ships to destroy the enemies, and you need like transports to actually invade it. But you can't realistically defend all your planets simultaneously because you simply won't have the full resources to do it. So what you find yourself doing is like putting your ships in the furthest reaches of your galaxy, as it were. But someone could just fly straight past those planets with transports and just invade planets behind your front line, as it were. So you've got to be watching. What have I done with the game is the game's not very good at alerting you when where the enemy vessels are.
Okay.
So it relies on you actually looking and paying attention. So when an enemy vessel's moving, you need to actually sort of. I have to make sure when their turns, because their turns play out as soon as you clear all your stuff, their turns all play out obviously automatically. I had to make sure I was watching them right there on the screen so I could watch what they do, and so try and guess where they're sending their vessels, their fleets, and which planets they're heading for, so I can like move ships around to intercept them or try and destroy them.
Right.
That's a little bit annoying. I'd like it more like it could highlight, sort of like it'd be a bit more obvious what they're doing, or make it a bit easier for you. Strategy-wise, some people say, well, you should be watching them, but realistically wise, military-wise, you'd have people to tell you what they've done. So I don't think that hurts telling you that sort of information.
This is a pretty old one, isn't it? So I remember you and Bard talking about it.
Galactic 3 came out 2014, I want to say, but they're still updating it.
Well, fair enough.
So it's old, but they're still releasing new patches, and they're still patching it. They're still updating it. So there's still more stuff coming for it. There's loads of extra alien races been added to it, and so forth. It's great. So Khan Syndicate. So basically, they took over 3 planets in my territory, and they tried to build ship spaces on them. So like basically build ships in my territory, but their planets were starting to rebel. So like I had so much influence over them, those planets started to rebel. So I basically was doing so. I was at war of attrition, where I was gradually pushing back against them. Now, there's no one of the things I don't like about it is you can't easily view stats of the other races. And that's important to know. You can sort of view your relevant power, but what I want to know is how many ships do they have? How many colonies do they have? That's to give a rough idea of how powerful they are.
Sure.
Now, you could say observation makes it funner, but then all you have to do, if you want to find out, you should go into diplomacy, and you go to the stage where you're like, I want to make a trade deal with you, the people you're fighting, and trade deal means like peace treaty and all sorts. And then it tells you the right side, like the names of all their planets, because you can say, I want these planets, I want these ships, and so forth. You get this little trade deal up here. You can like sort of just through it there anyway.
Yeah.
But you've got to go through several steps to get to there. I want to just say, here's the stats this. Because I can see it that way, I might just have a normal stats dial that tells me that. And realistically, again, if they're an enemy army you're facing, presumably your information network would know that, or at least have a good idea of what they're like. So I would like to know. That's sort of like, I would like to have more stats like that in it, where I could sort of like judge how powerful these guys are rather than as a power bar. Eventually, the casting realised I was just blitz them every step of the turn. Although they were at the time slightly more powerful than me, I gradually, by being a bit more strategic, was able to sort of like take a few key planets, basically slow their military machine enough that they couldn't keep up, and then they surrendered to me. But this is the other thing that I find a bit annoying. And this is obviously for a balance reason. They've done this. So say they've got like 20 or 20 odd colonies they surrendered to you. All those colonies, bar like their main planet, just get wiped to nothing. I don't mean they disappear, you have to rebuild from scratch.
Yeah,
I mean,
they go neutral.
no,
Or
worse
they
than
get
that.
wiped off the map.
Yes. They
Oh,
go,
wow.
their planets go from like class 12 to 0.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
effectively, they're useless. Now, I can see why they would do that, because in the old browsers, they didn't do that. And if a surrenders you gained all their planets. Well, instantly, it's a massive balance problem, because if two groups had a big fight and one group eventually surrendered to the other, you could virtually double in size. And I would have done. These guys surrendered to me, I would have just doubled in size. So they're also a balance reason, but I think there's a neater, because it doesn't make any sort of narrative sense why they would do that. I think a neater way to do that would be a case of perhaps these planets go into turmoil, for some time. Perhaps they got and so like they have like zero production or zero population growth, or basically they're just a bit of a hindrance for like a few turns.
Yeah.
Where you get and gradually over time they build back up. That I think would be a neater way of doing it. Or perhaps or perhaps they could do what you say. They go even neutral. Perhaps they they might have start forming like mini rebellions. You have like send ships to sort of properly subjugate them to get them under your rule. I thought that was a very bad way of doing it. It feels like I'll just say we're just going to balance this by just saying you can't do it. It just feels too obvious as a balancing problem. But yeah, that's what they done it. So that was all going well. I took this group out. They simply, at which point the Altarian Public, which is still the most powerful, they are more than twice as powerful as me by power rating, declared war on me.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. And I didn't even realise they declared war on me. I just simply was like,
well, how good's that? How good is that? You just sat there going, oh, so good, so good. You know, you're like, I don't know, President Ram of the Nictopia space colonies.
yeah.
And, all of a sudden...
yeah.
All of a sudden you get a couple of angry emails through. By the way, loads of people are dead. And you're like, what?
Spam.
Yeah, it's like, oh, sod this.
Yeah.
No one's told me anything. Nothing on my HUD is flashing red.
Yeah, I never got this letter. I never got this memo. What do you mean declare war on me? I reject your declaration. I don't accept it. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I reject your declaration of war. It's in my spam, mate. It's crap.
Yeah. No one ever tried that. This is the way to world peace. Nation one declares war on another one. They always go, yeah, bring it on. Well, they go, no, I don't accept the declaration.
Yeah, stuff up your ass, mate. I'm busy.
Yeah, I don't accept it. Go away. That's how world peace forms.
I'm playing Galactic Golf that Saturday. Shove it.
Yeah. Can you declare war on me until next Friday? I'm on holiday then. But I do want to declare war. The trouble is, so if you imagine a clock face as the galaxy, I'm sort of down fighting near 6 and 7. The Altarian Republic are from 11, 12, 1 and 2.
Nah.
And my empire starts 3 all the way down to 1 out to 8 area. So I'm all the way down 6 and 7 on my ships, and they're all the way up there. It's like, oh fuck. Oh fuckity fuck. So I'm just saying, right, everybody, fly this way. Fly back over there as quick as you can. I know it's going to take you 10 turns, but get back there. Luckily, my shipyards have been pumping out ships constantly, and there are loads of my best shipyards are right in my central area. Because I started around about again using the clock face example, I started position 4, 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm that area. So that's what my main shipyards are. So I literally went to each shipyard, go right. How much does it cost you? This battle cruise is meant to take you 30 turns. How much is it going to cost you to do this in 1 turn? That much? Buy. I just did that across the whole lot. I just bought a load of these ships instantly. It's amazing what a bit of money does. And how
Stop asking me silly questions. Just do it.
Yeah. Build these ships in a day. Build all these ships and just fly them up there. It's okay. So far, they don't seem making much of a move. I think they're building up their resource, their empire, to do one slog. So I'm just just randomly hitting their ships and trying to take them out. I can win this if I'm just a little bit careful about what I do. All I need to do is bloody their nose enough. They think, actually, and I'll back off. Luckily, I've made friends with most of the other aliens around. It's like, hey, and they're already at war with these guys, so they're going to distract them a little bit. So if they die, it doesn't matter because they're distracting them from me. That's what I really worry about, for terror, all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm grateful away. But yeah, it's like that moment happened. I just sort of looked at the screen like, huh, right, shit. Right, okay. What do I do now? That was that sort of moment in the game, and I literally sort of sat there for about a good point, sort of 5 minutes, thinking, right, how am I going to get out of this problem? This is a big deal. This is could be the end of the game for me if I don't do this right.
See, I was going to say to you, isn't it a bit silly to play a game like that on easy mode? Surely you want to have a challenge. It's like,
I think it makes them on easy mode. It makes them just a little bit less aggressive.
Right.
I think they're just not quite so keen. I think they're just basically. I don't think it dumbs the AI down too much. Apparently, if you play on the highest mode, the AI is quite insane. So what I've been reading, the AI is the AI properly sort of thinks for itself and will actually work you off each other. I've read stories of people the AI kept doing weird things. They couldn't work out why until the game suddenly ended. And then you go, oh, that empire that's doing these weird things won.
Yeah.
Oh, now it makes sense. Why would they declare? Because they declared peace with me. That we've been at war for years. Suddenly want peace, and actually now want to become my ally. This doesn't make sense. Why all of a sudden? Oh, they're going for the diplomacy victory. They got to make everybody friendly, or destroy them. And they couldn't destroy me, so they made friends with me, and they've won. They've won the game instead of me. Oh. The AI doesn't say stuff like that, so yeah. I mean, I probably should have played on a hard difficulty. But like I said, I didn't. At times, I want to be over in a few sessions. I don't want to be sort of here forever.
Yeah.
So I picked an easier mode on it, but I've got enough enjoyment out of it. It's going to be one of those games I think. Because I played it when I got it when it came out of early access. And I played it a bit, but then sort of couldn't get back into it. But I sort of got back into it this time. I can feel myself one of the games I want to sort of go back to and play a campaign of, but every sort of 6 months or so type job, rather than every other day. But I find it really neat. Oh, and it's got a spaceship build. You can make your own spaceships. I haven't tried that, but you can build your own spaceships in it as well, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, kind of neat.
Kind of neat. So yeah, Galactic Civilizations 3 recommended.
Fantastic. Sounds fantastic.
It is. It's quite good.
I don't think I don't know if I have. I don't know if I have that. I might do.
Yeah, I've played every game on Steam.
Well, only if Gaben allows it. Sometimes Gaben says to me, "You have to pay for these," and then I'm like, "Okay." And then I have every game on Steam still, but sometimes things slip through the cracks, Ram.
I know you can't have every single game Steam because I want to know actually how big is the dayline that holds all your game lists. At what point does that buffer overflow?
Yeah. Look, can we just throw out there, because I don't think we did a what games we've purchased in recent history thing. I've been very good for the longest time. I can't be asked to buy games anymore.
I find it more and more harder to justify buying games. Particularly, also, there's this always nagging feeling at me, it's like, but they'll go so cheap in a sale. And also, I still clear with Humble Bundle, and there's loads there. There are more games I'm ever going to play. And there's also been me thinking, I've got such a big library, I really should get through at least the games in my library before I sort of buy. I think I bought Green Hell. I did buy Green Hell because that looked right up my street. I did purchase that, and I said I am going to pick up Half-Life Alyx and Mech Warrior in the future. But I think actually it's funny because I think it wasn't the end of last year there wasn't actually a lot of games coming out I was particularly interested in. Then all of a sudden, like games come out, like Disco Elysium came out. I was like, I'm really interested in picking up Disco Elysium. That looks like I really like the sound of it. I want to get Untitled Goose Game because that just sounds really fun. I want to pick that up.
Right.
MechWarrior 5 came out. So in the last part of this, all these games started coming out. I was like, I really want all these. And I was like, the first time in a long time, actually, like, I really want these games. And it's just been a lot of games of like, oh, it's a sequel. I'm not really that bothered about that. And so if this just doesn't strike me as interesting, I want to work my way through. It doesn't grip me enough not to shell out the money that it's there. I still haven't bought any of those games I've just talked about, but yeah, I think I've just got more careful of what I spend money on. And also because I've just got such a big Steam library now, I was like, I've got more games than I'm ever going to be able to play. I'm not going to play all these games my entire life. That's not happening. So I've got to be a little bit more sensible about all this stuff.
Okay. That's fair. We don't all have unlimited money.
No, we don't have all gaming as our personal friend.
No, well, one day, mate, one day.
Yeah, Steam Press account. Right, I haven't really got much else, to be honest with you guys.
Nah, it's me done too, mate.
Yeah, I've watched a few films, but nothing major. I went to John Wick. I watched The Interview. That was quite good. The North Korean one.
Yeah, I've watched that quite a bit.
Yeah, I quite like that one. That was actually surprisingly good.
That was a fantastic film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, what have I watched? I watched Scott Pilgrim vs. the World last night.
Did you?
That was good. Yeah, that was good. Netflix has been badgering me to watch that for ages.
Fantastic.
So I was like, oh fuck it, I'll watch it and make you happy then, Netflix. Really good.
My kids watched that one. It's not a bad little book either, to be fair.
No, I haven't. I know it was based on a graphic novel. It's not an actual comic.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, it's a graphic novel. Yeah.
Yeah, I would find myself. I need to spat my beer at my side right when I got to the vegan guy.
Oh yeah, because he's got vegan powers. Yeah.
yeah. I was like, I'm a vegan, so I have more powers. Like, I literally did spat my beer at my side right. I was like, that's just hilarious. And
that's fantastic.
Yeah, and the guy just says, I've always wondered why being vegan makes you telepathic.
Yeah.
And the vegan police turn up. It's just brilliant.
Yeah. No vegan diet, no vegan powers.
Yeah. It's just so silly. And it doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's just really, really, really enjoyable.
Really goofy. Loads of video gaming references.
Yeah.
Just fantastic. It's really goofy fun, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, talk video games. I've also watched Wreck-It Ralph 1 and 2.
There you go. There you go. Actually, just random note about Scott Pilgrim. I'm just trying to think of two of the actors. So Scott Pilgrim kicked the ever-loving crap out of Captain America.
Chris Evans, is it, I think?
Captain America and Superman, I believe.
Yeah. I don't recognise those. I did recognise that, I've got his name now, but one of the vegan police is also the detective in The Expanse, and as soon as he appeared, like, you're Miller from The Expanse, I recognise you. And he plays a detective, yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, it's like, oh, Chris Evans, don't give a shit about him. But this guy played a detective in a niche sci-fi television program. That's the one that I care about.
So, like, if he's still alive in that niche TV show, now you know why.
He's not.
Oh, well, fuck, he didn't have his vegan powers then. He clearly...
No, he's definitely not vegan. I'm pretty sure he eats meat at some point in that series show.
There you go.
Spoilers The Expanse, he makes about halfway through the second season.
He clearly broke vegan edge, and... yeah, there you go.
That's what happens when you break the vegan code.
That's it. When you got a vegan academy.
Next time I meet a vegan, they sound vegan, say, where's your telepathy then?
Yeah, how come you went flying, motherfucker?
Yeah, that means you're not truly vegan. You ain't got your vegan powers. You're not truly vegan.
Did you graduate vegan academy? No. Get fucked then, son.
Yeah. Right, Skazz. I've got nothing else.
Nope, that's it.
No. I did enjoy watching your stream though this week. That was good.
Which one?
I watched your Animal Crossing stream, your
Oh
final
God.
Animal Crossing stream, yeah, where you finished the game. I didn't think that game was going to have an end, but
Well,
you finished it.
it technically doesn't. I mean, there is a goal to get KK Slider to come to the island, the little dog musician, and then the credits roll. But from that point on, the game continues as normal
Yeah.
because the credits roll as you start the game,
Yeah.
not as you finish the session, as you start the session.
Oh, right.
So,
Okay.
right. So, what it happens is you're on an island. You're building a village. After you get a town hall, Tom Nook the Crook, the little raccoon guy that, set you up on all this
I
stuff.
hate him already. I've only seen him in your stream. I dislike him and his nephews.
Yeah, little bastards. Always buying all my weed. But, so he says, my dream is to get this island to be popular enough so that we can have a concert by KK Slider. And to do that, you just have to get a 3-star village, island, mountain, what the fuck ever it is we're doing. So once you get a 3-star rating, and that'll update like every day if you meet certain requirements. On the day you get 3 stars, you check in with Tommy, the old crook, and Isabel, and they'll say, "Hey, we got some feedback on the island. We've got 3 stars," and then the letter is signed KS. Tom Nook has a hissy fit, going, "Oh my God, it's a letter from KS. Is that really KK Slider?" And then all of a sudden he whips out his phone and he dials KK Slider. I'm like,
What?
wait, hang on a minute, mate. Huh? How the hell have you got him on speed dial? I mean, don't get me wrong, mate. I know I've got old fucking Bobo and the Don and Kim on speed dial, but you can't have KK Slider on speed dial. You're a crook. He's a fun-loving, peaceful traveling artist guy. You can't. You're scum, Tom. You can't have his number. Anyway, the game doesn't end until Tommy goes, "Hey, KK, do you want to come to the island?" KK says, "Yeah, mate, I'm going to come to the island and I'm going to play a gig. That's going to be rad." So then you shut down the game because nothing's going to happen until the next day, which is when Tommy's booked the gig. So the next time you start the game, "Hey, KK Slider's come to the island and he's going to sing a song." Then the credits roll. That's why the credits roll at the start of your play session.
Because I watched that and I thought, so he must have saved just before that happened then.
Nope.
No. Okay, that's interesting.
Because I streamed the day before, thinking, "Hey," because I was on the road, as you know, and I pulled out my Switch whilst I was at a stop, and it said, "Oh, you got a 3-star rating." I was like, "Shit! I better put my Switch to sleep because this is going to be the end of the game." Because Isabel's now told me I've got a 3-star rating. A 3-star rating's when KK Slider turns up. Put the Switch to sleep. Get home. Put the Switch in the dock to stream Animal Crossing. We're now finishing Animal Crossing, and that's when Tommy says, "No, mate. No, mate. Fucking KK Slider's coming tomorrow." And I'm like, "You fucking wanker! I wanted this to fucking finish. Screw you, Tom. Screw you. Buy some weed." That's it.
But you got there in the end.
Yes. Thank fuck that's over with.
Not a fan?
No. Well, I don't mind it. It's fun in its own way. It's a peaceful kind of like, pick up and play trash game that you can play when you're taking a dump or something. I don't know. But like it just devolves into busybody work, and if you know what you're doing, you can finish pretty much everything you could possibly want to do on your island within an hour. So you start the game. What you're going to do, you're going to go fishing, you're going to go catching bugs, picking flowers, planting flowers, building some things, general cleanup or whatever. But that stuff doesn't take very long, gathering resources. You can get all of it done in like an hour, 2 hours tops. And then you might have to wait 3 days for the rest of the stuff to spawn back in. And it's like, oh, well, I've got nothing to do now because I can't gather fruit. Or I can't do this because it hasn't spawned back in yet. So
So it was so bad if it like spawned every day. It wouldn't be so bad.
yeah, but I guess that's to stop you from kind of leak, because obviously if they spawn fruit and that every day and that's the main stuff that you're selling, then there's not going to be much of a challenge. Then you're not going to have a reason to come back to play the game, are you?
No, you're just
But
gonna.
and that's the other thing. Obviously they try to manage it so that you're not spending all day playing the game. So
No.
they're trying to pace it out, and I don't know. Just sometimes I want my games to end in one session.
Yeah.
I don't.
Sometimes you want to be able to finish the game moments on your terms, not its terms.
Yeah, and that was part of my problem with Animal Crossing New Horizons. Is it was too much of what it wanted me to do and not what I wanted to do.
But is
So,
that true of all the Animal Crossing games, though?
well, pretty much. But then the other ones, I don't know. Maybe it was because I was younger and I had more goddamn time. But I just seemed a lot more forgiving of previous Animal Crossing games. In other Animal Crossing games, you could go to other cities. Like there was another city in the game that you could go to. In Animal Crossing New Horizons, there just seems to be less on the table to start with. And so it just kind of I don't know. I honestly just think it's a change of time. I'm older now. I've got more shit I need to do.
Yeah.
Games really have to be more on my terms than on theirs. It isn't bad, and it's kind of goofy fun when you've got people to play it with.
Yeah.
But if you're just digging
Yeah.
around on it, I mean, I've seen a lot of people play it and say, "Oh wow, it's over already."
Yeah, you're probably not, but then to be fair, you're probably not the target market for, are you?
Well, yeah, but I used
It's
to.
probably. I'm trying to say it's probably aimed more for a younger
Well,
audience who don't mind because
but in
kids
the
don't mind
grand scheme,
do they?
no, for sure. But in the grand scheme of things, though, I've been playing Animal Crossing since the first one. So I mean, like, Animal Crossing was created when I was the target demographic.
Yeah.
So I've grown with it. Look, they say the average Pokemon player is actually in their 30s because they're people who grew up with the series. So I think it's just because, as I say, I was more forgiving back then of a lack of shit to do,
Yeah.
or it just I didn't mind just kind of cruising around my village, doing little bits and bobs, busybody work, because it was just a chilled out thing to do. Whereas now I'm like, I think the other problem is now I've got so many fucking games to play that I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh wait, so I have to wait until tomorrow now. I'll just like, no, screw it. I'll play something else. I'll play some COD. I'll go play some Doom. Um, I'll go and play some Civ 6. I'll do, whatever. I've got so many games to play. It's not like what it was back in, the early 2000s when I was younger and didn't have a lot of money and I only had a few games per system. Now there are so many games on the plate. Why waste my time with just that one?
Yeah.
So, if I've only got a couple hours a day to play games, I'll go play something else. But I'm glad I finished it. For what it was all right. Just I'm sure there was more in previous Animal Crossing games.
Hmm.
But yeah, and it's not
Fair
worth
enough.
50 quid. Not worth 50 quid at all.
I was watching you play. I was like, I must say, I thought this is. I don't think I would like it at all. I was like, this just looks like a waste of time.
See, the thing is, once you
It's
get
like,
to
yeah, sorry.
once
Go
you
on.
get to level 3, once you get a 3-star village, they call it terraforming, but it's not terraforming by definition. It's landscaping. You get a landscaping option, so you get to change the environment. You get to like dig moats and fucking fill shit with land and all that kind of stuff. So you can actually then full blown customize your island kind of thing. You know, you can pave roads and make nice areas and things. Like, you can shape the land to how you want it to be, and I imagine that's where a lot of people are having fun. But the stuff that I shoot in stream was really just scratching the surface of it. You know, if you want to have a blank canvas island where you can make Nicktopia, you know,
Yeah, Nictopia, that'd be 9, I think, by this stage.
hey, Nicktopia Animal Crossing edition. The 9th edition is more family friendly. There's, you know, people don't die in Nicktopia 9.
There's no blood in the streets in Nictopia 9.
Well, not unless you forget to pay old Tommy boy, because then he comes in a kneecap shit because you haven't given him his you haven't given him his payments.
Please tell me that's an actual mechanic in the game. That'd really put it up in my estimation if that was an actual mechanic.
I'm afraid to say no. However, you do earn interest on your savings, and you get to pay off a mortgage, just like real life.
Look, so, don't be silly. We'll never be able to pay off a mortgage.
Yeah,
That's something that the old people did.
Especially not by selling fruit.
No. When you talk about power fantasy, be able to own a house.
Oh yeah,
What sort of sick? I mean, I know we play games for escapism, but that's pushing it too far.
I have made that joke many a time in Animal Crossing. I was like, come on, this is too far like fiction, mate. I'm never going to be able to pay off my house. Although, then we did crack the joke. Like, hang on a minute. I've got a bag of weed here, and I'm going to go and sell it to the Nook boys for a nice, tidy profit. It's like, that's how I can afford to pay off my home loan. I'm a dealer.
Yeah. Breaking Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing Walter White edition.
That's it.
Walrus Whites. That's what you should have in it.
But, yeah, all in. Yeah, it's done. Thank fuck.
Oh, fair enough.
Streaming for the lols.
Oh. So, Animal Crossing, well, at least you finished it.
Yeah. That's all I really want to do these days. It's just, I want to just get as many games done as possible.
Yeah, it's the end credits roll.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, like, back in the day, I used to really get pissed off. If a game was too short, like, for me, 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours was probably too short. But I'm finding that if a story mode is about 4 to 6 hours, it's pretty solid.
I always used to work on 10 hours, was all my sort of... if I got a game that was at least had a story mode last about 10 hours, I consider it value for money.
Yeah.
If I felt it lasted less than that, I felt a bit shortchanged.
Sure.
If it lasted more than that, I was like, this is amazing.
Well, it kind of depends on the game, really, doesn't it? I mean, if it's an RPG, if it's an RPG, then I expect it to last a bit. But if it's a shooter or something like that, give me about 6 to 9 hours. Pretty solid. If I can do it quicker than that, just because I'm that good, fine. But I am tired. I'm becoming more. How can I word it? Bloat is more obvious to me these days. Like, for example, Final Fantasy VII Remake. So much bloat in that game. In fact, I got into a discussion with a bunch of people about Final Fantasy VII Remake, and my god, the blinders that people wear because it's Final Fantasy VII it's just disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. They're like, no, I want more. I want more. And I was like, but it was horrible. It was a horrible, grindy mess. And they were like, no, I loved it. It's like, you had 4 hours of, like, one of the characters fucking around on monkey bars. Like, what the hell was the point in that? You're telling me you had fun with that?
But so everybody's different. There are people out there who do enjoy that sort of thing, and who are we to tell people how they should enjoy their games?
Fair. Although I don't think it's it's definitely not a 10 out of 10 game like people are saying it is.
No, there's a hype element to that, though, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Hype is a dangerous thing.
Trouble is, that's major publications saying it.
But they want to piss off the people who are going to buy their reviews or magazines, do they?
It's dumb.
So.
Absolutely dumb. But that's it. Rant over.
Fair enough. Well, I think that sort of brings us to a close. We must try and do some gaming this week. We keep trying.
Yes.
Um,
My machine works now, kind of.
That's a bonus. That's a bonus. So yeah, we just definitely sort of think of where we can do that and organise a proper sort of time and everything for it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll try and sort of organise that this week. So that's that. Thank you for watching. Unless you've got anything else to add, Skazz, before I close off.
Nope, I'm done, son.
Okay, thank you for watching. You can join us again in a fortnight's time on the 6th of June, 2020, where we'll still be, I'm presumably, doing this remotely, I'd imagine.
Most likely.
No, well, most certainly.
Bobo hasn't called me to say otherwise, mate.
No, well, it's still about, isn't it? So, let's be honest. Skazz, I can't see us doing a group together podcast again till Christmas time.
I do feel very sorry for the socialites out there. I see them going absolutely bonkers right now because they can't go out. It's sad, like friendships dissolving, marriages breaking apart, all because they can't go out. It's so interesting to see how many people's lives are literally crumbling just because either one, they're having to spend more time with someone, and it turns out they do each other's heads in, or two, they're not able to spend any time with anyone, and so they're going absolutely stir crazy. Fantastic. It's like the human ant farm.
Yeah. Well, me and my friend on the farm, we normally, over the end of the day, we'd go down to the pub and have a pint before we finish up for the day. But that's not been off the cards. So what we're doing now is once a month, we park our trucks up sort of back to back within like sort of about 2.5 meters away from each other. We open the tailgates and sort of tailgates and sort of have a pint of beer and sort of like we can talk to each other still, but it's all like sort of tailgated apart. That's how we get around that.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah. And of course you've got Skype and all sorts. You can sort of, there are ways and means around
these. Now I've found that the socialites, that's not good enough. They're starting to fight because they're not able to read each other's body language, kind of thing.
And, webcam.
And being on the phone has meant that they're not able to really do anything else. Like they have no real excuse to say, "Oh, I need to go now," or whatever. You know, when they're in person, they can say, "Oh, I've got to go catch a train," or I don't know, "I've got to go and have an uncomfortable wank." But they can't exactly do that whilst they're on the phone without being an antisocial wanker.
I'm sorry. That last excuse you gave is still a perfectly valid excuse to get off Skype.
Well.
Train to catch. Yeah, no, you can't catch a train. I've got to go. That's the sort of thing I can't do that. But I want to have an uncomfortable wank. Is perfectly acceptable excuse to use when you're on Skype.
Yes, I can just imagine all the socialites doing that now. Oh God, I'm getting a bit bored of this call. I know. Right, I've got to go. I need to have a wank.
Yeah, it's been Jenny, Phil. It's been lovely meeting you both. I'm gonna go have a wank. Sorry, bye.
It's 11 o'clock. It's time for my daily wank.
I love the fact that you say all these socialites. All these socialites seem to spend their time doing is come up with excuses to not be social.
Well, no, but so you know when you're tired of someone, like when the conversation has run its course, they know that there's only.
I mustn't keep you.
You know that they only have a certain amount of time. So, I see it with some of my friends where they'd say, well, the pub's closing now. That's the end of the night. Or, I don't know, it's the last train. That's the end of the night. Whereas now, they're banging on at each other for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. No downtime and wearing each other's fucking minds thin. It's awesome.
This is why you get yourself defurloughed from work, and then you say, sorry, I've got to be up in the morning. I start work at 6 a.m, so I've got to go to bed now. Good night.
That's where you sat there on your sofa with the grandfather clock clutched between your knees going, for fuck's sake, go home.
Yeah.
Get off the phone. That's what you'd
Yeah.
normally do. You'd be like, please, motherfucker, go home. We're
Yeah.
all drunk. I don't care if you have to drive. Just go home.
Phones are easy, though. Phones are an easy solution. You start going, yeah, it's sorry, beep 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 beep. There you go. You're off the phone, then, aren't you?
See, I'm way better at that, but then I'm not a very social
such
guy.
an introvert. I've got so used to figure out ways to get people to pretend I can't hear people.
No, I just do this, mate. You're fucking pissing me off now. This conversation sucks dick. Get fucked. Hang up.
No, my favourite one to do is like saying, hello, hello. They're just talking. I say, I'm sorry, I can't hear you anymore. Sorry, hello, hello. Oh, they must have gone. And hang up. That's a good one to do.
There's a scene in Last Action Hero.
Where... if any of my friends listen to this, they're all going to go, you bastard!
It's like, there's a scene in Last Action Hero where the main character gets a call from his wife, right? And he's kind of like, oh yeah, yeah, okay, cool, yeah. And all of a sudden he goes into his desk drawer and he pulls out like a tape recorder, yeah? And he fucking puts a tape and presses play and then puts the fucking phone receiver on the tape deck, and all you can hear on the other end of the thing is like, yeah, because that's just him, like, just nodding and like on the recording. I have the same kind of thing, except I don't talk. I just put the phone on the side, walk off to go do what the fuck ever I need to do, and then if I come back and I just kind of like lean over towards the phone again. It's like, oh, yep, they're still talking.
My grandmother was terrible for. But when she rang you up to ask you something, she'd give you the entire background story as to why she was asking you it.
Mm-hmm.
She'd tell you about, like, you know, why her cousin, like Phyllis, from 30 years ago, who is now dead, but at some point knew so and so, who knew so and so, and who knows so, and eventually get round to, so yeah, can I borrow your lawnmower? That's what would actually, that's how it used to happen on the phone. She used to ring you up. And you could literally, I used to do the past, just put my phone, just put the phone on the chair for like 5 minutes and go back to it, and she'd still be going.
How to deal with people 101. Don't.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. I'm just saying, it's not worth it.
No. But yeah, on that note, I think we need to end the call end to this.
Yes.
So once again, thank you for watching. I'm TheSuffolkRam.
Skazz, yes.
We'll see you in a fortnight.
Yeah.
So until then, guys, see you then.